Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, we've all heard of the Internet of Things. We'll get an explainer from an international expert next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, by now, all of us have heard of the Internet of Things, but some of us are scratching our heads saying, well, what exactly is that, and what does that mean? And am I using it right now in my everyday life? To talk about that today, an international expert, George Brody. He's the CEO of the InfoNet of Things. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jeff. Good to be here.
Absolutely. Well, I want to brag a little bit about George because he's a humble guy and he wouldn't tell this himself, but he's had the pleasure of working with big companies like Nortel. He built up a company called Globe Rangers, sold it to Fujitsu. So he's had a chance to be to the big dance, so to speak, since we're in the March Madness season. Yeah. George, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Jeff.
Absolutely.
Thanks for inviting me.
Okay, so you've always been a little bit ahead of the curve. You were ahead of the curve on wireless, and you were ahead of the curve on the Internet of Things. So explain what the Internet of Things is.
Internet of Things is in a way, we can think about a smart network of connected things and items and people, everything connected together. So it's in real time.
And all of us are using it.
Yes. It went from real telephone calls using cell phones to personal devices. Now you have devices that are connected like Wi-Fi and other things that are well connected. Then you have sensors. All these things are now in real time in harmony, yes, using the internet and connecting it together, and they're working to create value for the human beings.
So like in a smart home, the toaster can be talking to the microwave.
Exactly. The whole idea is things can talk to each other, yes, just like people are now texting each other, sending messages to each other.
Sure.
The appliances can also text each other and send messages about status and things like that. But underneath all that, there is a layer of intelligence that kind of keep it all together.
Sure. Okay.
So that is the InfoNet of Things.
More on that in a minute, but George just casually mentioned just a few minutes before the show, he says, you know who came up on my timeline? Bill Gates. So let's go ahead and pull this picture up. I want you to explain. So you're taking the picture, so you're not in this picture. Yeah. Bill Gates is at your booth?
Yes, this was in 2003, 2005, I think, that time frame. He was the keynote speaker at CTIA. We happened to be actually exhibiting at the show itself, and unbeknownst to us, the Microsoft brass was walking around scouting for companies that they want to bring him. Our booth was the first booth they brought in. He was so intrigued by it. You can see from this, he's very animated. He's very animated, and essentially saying, "Oh, this is cool." In the number of times he said "cool" was amazing. So I think this is the first time he saw RFID and sensors being used with .NET, his platform called .NET.
Wow.
And so he was very intrigued by that.
How did that feel?
Oh, it felt great to have the man very animated. I wish we had recorded the whole thing. We didn't know he was coming.
Absolutely. Well, I found a great explainer piece about the Internet of Things. Let's go ahead and roll that now.
The first wave of the internet revolution came in with the growth of personal computers. And in the second wave, the internet came right onto our palms. That is, with the advent of mobile devices. And here we are, living the third wave, where all electronic devices are almost already connected to the internet, or will be in the near future. Yes, the Internet of Things will bring about the next industrial revolution and will drastically transform the way we live and experience technology today. Quite possibly, the Internet of Things will be as disruptive as the Internet itself, particularly when combined with big data and predictive analytics. But what exactly is IoT? The concept behind IoT is about connecting just about everything to the Internet in real time, which directly improves our quality of life and experiences. For instance, how are you watching this video right now? On a PC, a mobile, or a tablet? Well, whichever device you're using, it's definitely connected to the Internet, and that means you're already using an IoT device. Sensors are becoming the endpoints of IoT networks. Wondering what exactly a sensor is? These sensors collect an increasing amount of context-aware data and information such as location, images, weather conditions, and inject them into networks, actuators, and applications in real time. Big data, analytics, and predictions have become apparent synonymous, helping perform and execute tasks seamlessly with minimal to zero errors. Are you ready to admit a major breakthrough? Life in the present is great, but the future looks like it could be way more exciting. How, you may ask? Since there are billions of physical devices around the world that are now connected to the Internet, collecting and sharing data in real time, terabytes of data are going to become petabytes, which represents 1,000 terabytes each. There is going to be a shift from wideband networks to narrowband networks for better range. And you'll also soon witness the communication system transcend from 4G to 5G wireless communications. IoT will definitely be the paradigm shift of effective multitasking with massive applications. Now, let's have a look at the future with IoT environment. Imagine you're driving your smart car to work and you're quite late. Don't you worry, because your car can now provide the shortest route with less congestion. Not only that, the integrated sensors in the car alerts you about mechanical assistance. You also have the access to automatic temperature control, and not to forget, in case you're tired or weary, the car becomes self-driven since it comes with an accident prevention system. As you're driving, you see the smart farms through your window. Farmers are happier thanks to IoT, which helped them with better yield and provided more efficiency than ever. You might wonder how. With the help of systems like autonomous self-driving tractors, adaptive irrigation systems, soil health monitoring, and animal welfare monitoring systems, this is possible. You also see smart factories which use IIoT, that is, Industrial Internet of Things. With the help of analytics and automation systems, IIoT helps in tracking goods in real time, inventory management, automated delivery system, and much more. Now you're returning home from office. Your car can park itself automatically. Your fingerprint, voice, or even your smartphone is enough to control all home appliances, from lights to television and your door to water taps too. Are you excited to experience this smart future which is not far away? Of course you should be. The applications of IoT will be seen in every industry across sectors, be it education, healthcare, manufacturing, automotive, you name it. IoT is definitely going to have a role to play in each one of them. Possibly the fourth wave will be the Internet of Everything, or IoE, which would encompass all physical things, processes, data, and people through wearables and surgically implanted sensors, unlike IoT, which focuses only on physical devices. Change is the only constant, and the world will never be the same with the growth of ubiquitous connectivity. And IoT is sure to change the way billions of people live their lives today.
And I thought that did a great job at kind of dumbing it down for the masses, because I understood it for the first time. George, let's look into the crystal ball and look into the future. Where do you see all of this going? Will everything that we have be talking to everything else?
Yeah, absolutely. It's, if you were to step back and look, what did the cell phones do? It connected people. People became trackable. The moment you put a phone on you, you became a trackable object.
Yes.
So the network knows where you are, so the calls can be completed very quickly.
Yes.
So then on top of it, the data network came in play where people can now communicate and do meaningful things, send real-time video between family members and other things. So that is how the mobile phone itself has impacted. imagine now billions of items now connected to that network, essentially, trying to do the things that people used to keep track of manually, now automated behind the scenes. So there are two things like the 5G revolution that is coming up, the whole industrial IoT play, which is in private networks inside industry, that is for manufacturing plants and warehouses and other places, then all connected together and for applications for each corporation that really can do things.
But so certainly there's some privacy concerns, but in the future, there should be no missing pets, there should be no missing children.
Yeah, everything can be accounted for and with a layer of software beneath it. For example, if you're an oil rig and a man missing, for example, man down kind of situation, it should take a long time for people to do that. And now with this kind of technology we can do is really have the missing person identified in real time, that this person is missing kind of stuff. Those kind of applications, safety, accountability, all kinds of things like that would be possible doing this one.
Amazing. What a crazy world we live in. And it just seems like it, Apple comes out with a new phone and 1 year later it's outdated.
On top of this, Jeff, actually the AI and blockchain and those kind of, to be able to keep custody, clear blockchain would be very interesting to kind of embed into this. Then AI for the decision making very quickly, being able to zero in on something that the human being normally does it, but no, the computer will be able to do that.
Absolutely. And I as I was Googling your name this morning, preparing for this show, I found a great headline, and this just came out, I think, about a month ago. Let's go ahead and put that on the screen. Tell us about this.
Now, this is very exciting. It's pretty recent this global accelerator incubator called TurboStart, and they are in the Middle East, India, Singapore, and the U.S. Okay, and it so happens the U.S. part is pretty much in the Richardson area right now.
Nice.
And I have joined the board to kind of take this strategy forward. I think I see it as a very exciting team to work with. At the same time, they have the model of taking startups, investing in them, and making sure that they use centers of excellence that they have within their network, which will then help them scale. So I kind of like their approach. So I'm very happy to be part of that board as a chairman of the board.
Absolutely. And you still do, very select consulting work when you find a company that you believe in and you feel like you can help. So describe that for us. What kind of company would bring you in?
Yeah, it'll be any Fortune 500, any kind of big company who really wants to get into the game of Internet of Things, for example. Essentially, I will go in and kind of talk to them about where they are and where they should be going. And obviously with the C-suite in this particular case, working with them. And if they decide to go forward, then I have enough network of startups and other companies that can help. I put them together and you'll be able to implement what they are planning to do.
Outstanding. Okay, we only have a minute or so left. Final thoughts. What would you like to leave people with?
I'm really excited about the future. Okay, so anybody who is thinking about the connected world, this is just the beginning, tip of the iceberg, if you would. So if dream big, make sure the entire ecosystem of things, people, sensors, devices, all connected together to bring phenomenal applications that will help you do better things and save your time for other meaningful things. Mundane tasks will be automated by this Internet of Things and InfoNet of Things.
Wow, we are living in a Jetsons world now, aren't we?
Yes, amazing. The Jetson was very visionary from what I can tell. Right?
Sure
A lot of the things he talked about is already happening here.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to end with his LinkedIn page. Go ahead and reach out to him on LinkedIn, connect with him for all your needs related to the Internet of Things. George Brody, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you very much, Jeff.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.